गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शता श्री श्रीमद् अभय चरणारविंद एसी भक्ति वेदांता स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद ठाकुर की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शता श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांता गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद ठाकुर की अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की। गौर निताय भगवान की, जगन्नाथ भगवान की, बलदेव भगवान की, सुभद्रा माई की जय। जय श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ भगवान की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोकी भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8, Text 41. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. धर्मार्थ कामा मोक्षाख्यम य इच्छा श्रेय आत्मना एकम ह्य एव हरेस्तत्र कारणं पादसेवनम्। धर्मार्थ अर्थ काम मोक्षाख्यम य इच्छे श्रेया आत्मना एकम ह्य एव हरेस्तत्र कारणं पादसेवनम्। धर्मार्थ कर्म मोक्षाख्यम य इच्छे श्रेया आत्मना एकम ह्य एव हरेस्तत्र कारणं पादसेवनम्। Now Prabhuji's. Dharmartha kama mokshakyam ya icche shreya atmana ekam hya eva haresatra karanam padasevanam। Dharmartha kama mokshakyam या इच्छे श्रेया आत्मना एकम हे एव हरेस्तत्र कारणं पादसेवनम्। धर्मार्थ काम मोक्षाख्यम या इच्छे श्रेया आत्मना एकम हे एव हरेस्तत्र कारणं पादसेवनम्। माताजी। धर्मार्थ काम मोक्षाख्यम या इच्छेच्छया आत्मना कम हे एव हरिस्तत्र karanam padasevanam karmartha kama mokshakyam ya icche shraya atmana ekam he eva harestatra karanam padasevanam. Word by word meaning. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The four principles: religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Akhyam, by the name. Ya, who. Icchet, may desire. Shreya, the goal of life. Atmana, of the self. Ekam hi eva, only the one. Hare, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tatra, in that. Karanam, the cause. Padasevanam, worshipping the lotus feet. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Any person who desires the fruits of the four principles, religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and at the end liberation, should engage himself in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For worship of his lotus feet yields the fulfillment of all these. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that only with the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can the demigods offer benedictions. Therefore, whenever any sacrifice is offered to demigod, the Supreme Lord in the form of Narayan Shila or Shaligram Shila is put forward to observe the sacrifice. Actually, the demigods cannot give any benedictions without the sanction of the Supreme Lord. Narad Muni therefore advised that even for religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, or liberation, one should approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, offer prayers, and ask for the fulfillment of one's desire at the lotus feet of the Lord. That is real intelligence. An intelligent person never goes to demigods to pray for anything. He goes directly to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the cause of all benediction. As Lord Sri Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, performance of ritualistic ceremonies is not actually religion. The real path of religion is to surrender at the lotus feet of the Lord. For one who is actually surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord, there is no question of any separate endeavor for economic development. A devotee engaged in service to the Lord is not disappointed in the satisfaction of his senses. If he wants to satisfy his senses, Krishna fulfills that desire. As far as liberation is concerned, any devotee fully engaged in the service of the Lord is already liberated. Therefore, there is no separate necessity for his liberation. Narad Muni therefore advised Dhruva Maharaj to take shelter of Vasudev, Lord Krishna, and engage himself in the way that his mother had advised, for that would help him fulfill his desire. In this verse, Narad Muni has specially stressed the devotional service of the Lord as the only way. In other words, even if one is full of material desires, he can continue his devotional service to the Lord and all his desires will be fulfilled. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki Jai. So here, just to give a background, Dhruva Maharaj is son of Uttanapad and he's only 5 years old. He's a prince. And his grandfather is Swayambhu Manu. So Uttanapad has 2 wives, Suniti and Suruchi. Now Dhruva Maharaj goes to the palace and he's trying to sit on the lap of his father. And he stopped from doing that by his stepmother. And she speaks very harsh words. She says, if you want to fulfill that desire of sitting on the lap of your father, you have to first worship the Lord Narayan, ask him to take birth from my womb, and then you would be allowed to sit on his lap. So Dhruva Maharaj is only 5, but he is a Kshatriya, and his heart is pierced by the harsh words of his stepmother. And it's described that as snake starts breathing heavily after being hit by a stick. It's the same situation. He's breathing very heavily. And he goes to his mother in that state. And his mother is also very agitated after hearing what happened. And now he has a desire to have a kingdom which is much bigger than his grandfather. So to fulfill that desire, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki Jai. To fulfill that desire, so his mother Suniti advises him to go to the forest and perform devotional service to Lord Vishnu. Now, when a person is ready to receive the mercy of Krishna, then what Krishna does? Krishna sends a guru. So when the jiva turns towards the Paramatma, the Chaitya Guru within the heart, then Krishna helps him by arranging for him to meet a spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master. So meeting a guru is not by chance. It is arranged by Lord Shri Krishna. And it is Krishna's mercy through which we meet our guru. And then with guru's mercy, we get Krishna. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 19, text 151, it is said, Brahmanda Brahmite kono bhagyavan jiva, Guru Krishna prasade pai bhakti lata bija. So according to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary systems and some are going down into the lower planetary systems. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. By the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of creeper of devotional service, Bhakti Lata Bija. So there are millions and trillions of jivas and in millions of planets, and they are suffering or enjoying the results of their fruitive actions. Now out of these many millions, one is very fortunate to get the mercy of Krishna. So he meets his Guru by Krishna's mercy. So this is called Guru Krishna Prasada. So Krishna is prepared to bestow all his mercy on his devotees. As soon as one starts looking for help within through Paramatma, then Paramatma helps. So this is called help within by Krishna and without by Guru. So Prahlad Maharaj meeting Narad Muni was not a accident. It was all arranged by Lord. And we can see how Narad Muni was also like very fortunate that he was born to a maid servant, and he was not born in a prestigious family or a position, but his mother was very fortunate that she got an opportunity to serve Vaishnavas, and they were residing there in Chaturmasya, so she was serving them. And Narad Muni also got an opportunity to serve these Vaishnavas, and these Vaishnavas became very compassionate towards Narad Muni, and they also gave him the remnants of their food. So it is Maha Prasad. And by their mercy, their unknown mercy, he gradually became a pure devotee, and his next life he became Narad Muni. So we can see how Vaishnavas are so merciful, and through their mercy, we can easily achieve Krishna. So following the footsteps of Narad Muni, all the devotees are also trying to help other Vaishnavas by engaging them in some sort of service, like distributing prasadam, distributing books, arranging festivals in the temple, bringing new people, So whoever comes in contact with the devotees, they are trying to extend the mercy of the Lord to all these jivas. So Dhruv Maharaj decides to go to the forest and perform mystic yoga to fulfill his material desires. Now Narad Muni is telling him that you are a small boy, what is disrespect and respect for you? You should go back and play with other kids. You're a young boy, should not get into these things, disrespect, respect. What is that, When kids are playing with their friends, there is a lot of respect, disrespect, lot of exchanges of different words, harsh words happen. You are doing this, you are doing that. But they don't get offended. So he said, you don't have to take it so seriously. You are only a young boy, just go back and play. So he tries to talk him out of that. But Dhruv Maharaj says that my heart is covered by ignorance. And he is very respectful towards Narad Muni. And he says, my dear Lord, I know your instructions are perfect because you are perfect. But my heart is covered with ignorance, so I cannot accept your instructions. My only desire is to go to the forest, perform my devotional service, and get a kingdom which is bigger and greater than my grandfather. So Narad Muni, seeing the spirit of Kshatriya in such a small boy, he is astonished, and he is very compassionate. So he then gives him all the instructions where to go. So go to Madhuban in Vrindavan, perform Ashtanga Yoga, and how to perform. He also gives him the Guru Mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. But he also tells him that this is such a impossible task that you're taking, because a lot of yogis, after performing mystic yoga for many lifetimes, they have not been able to achieve perfection. How you're going to do it? You're such a small boy. But then, and that was true actually, if he had tried to do it on his own, he would not have been successful. But he had the mercy of such a pure Vaishnava. So that's why he was able to do it in a very short period of time. So this is not possible without the mercy of bona fide spiritual master. Now the material desires are moksha, dharma, moksha, kama and artha. So Narad Muni is telling him that even to fulfill your material desires, you should go to the Supreme Lord. He is not telling him to go to the demigods. Because going to Supreme Lord and worshipping him would ultimately free you from entanglement. But for the same material desire, if we go to the demigods, then we would be entangled. So that's the beauty of performing devotional service to the Lord, that our material desires also get fulfilled and we are not entangled. And in Bhagavatam it is said, Akama sarva karmova moksha kama udharadhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. So a person who has broader intelligence, whether he is full of material desire, without any material desire, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the personality of Godhead. Tivrena bhakti is very important. So here it is clearly said, even if you have material desires or you are free of material desires, you should still worship the Supreme Lord. And tivrena bhakti, so do it with full conviction. Now, usually when someone has material desire, then he goes to the demigods. And what Krishna is telling about them, that they are less intelligent. So, Kamestes, this is in Bhagavad Gita 7.20. Kamestes hritaghyana prapadyante niya devata tam tam niyamam ashtaya prakritya niyata swaya. So, he's saying hritaghyana. So, those whose intelligence has been stolen by the material illusory energy, they go to the demigods. And the results which we obtain by worship of the demigods is temporary, and it is not it is perishable. But it is the in which mood we are also asking. Like, demigods are also Vaishnavas, so sometimes people do desire and they go to them, but if you desire the right thing, they may help you. Like the gopis, they also approached Katyayani, but what did they ask? They asked Krishna. They did not ask any material things. So sometimes they can also help because they are elevated, they are really great Vaishnavas. So they will also direct you towards the lotus feet of the Lord. So this is which mood you and what you are asking, that is very important. Although it is advised that you don't go to them, you just go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The results which we get from the demigods, their fruits are limited and temporary. So it is confirmed in 7.23. Antavata phalam tesham tad bhavati alpamedhasam devan deva jajati yanti mad bhakta yanti mamapi. So it's saying alpamedhasam, they are less intelligent. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigod go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimate reach my supreme planet. So worshipping them is not very intelligent. That's Krishna is confirming. And then in the subsequent shlokas he says that people who are worshipping the impersonal, they are abuddhaya. They have no intelligence. So Krishna himself is giving faith in the heart of someone who is worshipping the demigods to perform their service properly towards the demigod, so that their material desire can be fulfilled. So Shraddha also comes from Krishna, not by any own endeavor. And Prabhupada is saying, is it not injustice that he gives us faith for demigods? Why is he giving faith for demigods when he knows that ultimate welfare is actually serving him directly rather than serving the demigods? Because Krishna never takes away the free will from the jiva. So he gives choices, and he also gives the ultimate instruction in Bhagavad Gita: Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami ma shacha. So he's giving the ultimate instruction. So he's giving choices. He says this is good, but better than that this is, and this is best. So it's ultimately the jiva's choice, because it's his free will. And he also gives the choice to Arjuna in 18.63. After speaking the whole Bhagavad Gita, he says, iti te jnanam akhyatam guhya guhya taram maya vimsashtad asheshana yathechasi tatha kuru. Yathechasi tatha kuru. So important that thus I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully and then do what you wish to do. He's not saying, hey Arjuna, I have told you the whole Bhagavad Gita, pick up the Gandiva, now you fight. He's saying, now I have told you everything. These are different processes. It's your choice what you really want to do. I'm not going to force you. So similarly, when jivas want to fulfill their material desires, it's their free will that they can go and do devotional service to the demigods. And only Krishna will give them the Shraddha and the faith to perform their service properly. Demigods are not independent of the Supreme Lord. In fact, the results of that demigod worship is ultimately sanctioned by the Supreme Lord. And they are considered as different parts of the universal form of the Lord. But the jivas are also different parts of the body of the Lord. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is confirmed that Brahmanas are the head of the Supreme Lord, the Kshatriyas are his arms, the Vaishyas are his waist, and the Shudras are his legs. So we are not much different from demigods. It's just by some austerity or some pious activities that a jiva has attained a position of a demigod, because it's a position. And once that position is vacant, then somebody else will fill it. So it's not that they are much different to us. So we are asking one part of the body is asking another part of the body to fulfill the desire. Actually, to satisfy, we have to put the food in the mouth, not in our left hand. So that is how, once the food reaches the stomach, then the Lord will be satisfied. And in 9.21, Krishna is confirming that Tetam bhuktava swarga lokam vishalam shine punye martya lokam mishanti evam trai dharmam anuprapanna gata gatam kama kama labhante. So when they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasures and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to the mortal planet again. Thus those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. So he's saying that Shine Punyam. So once the pious activities, your bank balance is exhausted, you will fall back to the Mrityu Loka. So many disadvantages of worshipping the demigods. Your material desires are getting fulfilled, yes. To what extent, you don't know. They may not be completely fulfilled. We'll discuss about that. And you are getting entangled, and the results are only temporary. Once the results of your pious activities are exhausted, you fall back to the mortal world. Now, once someone has material desires, what is Krishna telling about them? Like we normally hear in our lectures, and acharyas are inspiring us to only perform pure devotional service and give up all the material desires. But here, Narad Muni is telling Dhruva Maharaj to go and perform devotional service for fulfillment of his material desires. So what is Krishna telling about such people? Is he telling, no, they are, not good people? I'm disgusted. You have a material desire. What is Krishna saying? In Bhagavad Gita 7.16, he's saying, Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritano arjuna artha jignasur artharthi jnani cha bharatarshabha. So he's saying, O best among the Bharatas, 4 kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me. The distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. So, distressed and desirer of wealth, both these are what Dhruva Maharaj is displaying at the moment. He is distressed and he is a desire for wealth. So Krishna is saying that they are pious men. Krishna is not condemning them. He is saying they are my pure devotees. They have come to me. I am the father. My children are coming back to me to fulfill their desires. If they want chocolate, I'll give them chocolate. Why do they have to go to my subordinate? I am their father. Let them come to me. So he is not condemning them. In fact, in the next shloka, he is saying they are undoubtedly the magnanimous souls. He is saying they are magnanimous. So they are pious, they are magnanimous. So even if we have material desires and we go and worship Krishna, Krishna is telling that we are pious, we are magnanimous. He is loving us. He is not condemning that what you have material desires. No. He is saying, okay, no problems. You come to me, I'll fulfill your desires. So demigods are like MPs and MLAs, and Krishna is like Prime Minister. So they are subordinate to the Supreme. And one of the examples is given that, I think it is by Radhesham Prabhu, that he tells the example of one hand has Rasgulla, the other hand has Gulab Jamun. So the left hand is trying to feed Gulab Jamun to the right hand, and the right hand is trying to feed Gulab Jamun or Rasgulla to the left hand, which is not possible. So you have to feed that to the mouth. So, and then the other example is like sometimes kids come back from school and they say, oh, that school teacher is very nice actually, mother, he's better than you. And mother is saying, oh wow, okay. But who is arranging? Who is arranging them to go and have education in the schools? Who is paying the fees? Who is picking them up, dropping them to the school? So all the efforts are being done by the parents, and then the kid is coming back. No, actually, that teacher was very nice. You are very harsh. You are very, you push me to be in discipline, and they're okay. So that's like that, we go to Supreme Lord. No, no, actually, demigods are better. But who is arranging all that? It's Krishna. Now, we discussed that what mood we approach the demigods. If the mood is of gopis and they want Krishna as they approach Katyayani, it's a different story. Although it is not recommended for ours, like Prabhupada strictly says, whatever Krishna is giving us, we should be satisfied. We should not approach any demigod for fulfillment of any desires. The example is Hiranyakashipu. He approached Brahmaji and the motivation was completely wrong. He wanted to become immortal. And what did Brahmaji say? He said, even I am not immortal. He lives for 100 years, and one day of Brahma is 1,000 Chaturyuga cycles, one kalpa. So he lives for a very, very long time, but it is still finite. There is a timeline after which Brahmaji will also give up his body. So if he doesn't have something, how can he give it to Hiranyakashipu? But then he uses his intelligence and he plays a trick. Okay, what if I put so many conditions and indirectly I will become immortal? So you cannot kill me outside, inside, in the sky, on the ground, not in the night, not in the day. So he put so many conditions to indirectly become immortal. But then Lord Nrsimhadev comes and ticks all the boxes. Okay, no problems. Whatever list you had given to Brahmaji, I am ticking all the boxes, and then he kills him. So it is not possible. So he approached Brahmaji with a wrong motivation, and his material desire to become immortal was not fulfilled. So and he got, of course he is performing a pastime of the Lord, but normally if we go to demigods, we get entangled. Now according to Shastras, anything which was previously being offered to the Lord, first it was offered to Narayan Shila or Shaligram Shila. Now this practice has been lost now. We go to so many temples and we don't see that thing happening because of ignorance, lack of knowledge. But even like previously, everything was first being offered to the Lord as in the form of Narayan Shila. So nothing was offered directly to the demigods. And people were well aware of their position. But now because of lack of intelligence, they have lost that. And there's no such knowledge there. But Krishna is confirming in Bhagavad Gita 5.29, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantim Mrichati. So a person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities. So Krishna here is confirming in Bhagavad Gita that I am the ultimate beneficiary of any sacrifice. No matter what sacrifice you do to anyone, ultimately I am the beneficiary. So worshipping the Lord for material benefits is very beneficial because it is purifying. We do not get entangled. Lord completely fulfills our desire. Like it is not half cooked, like what happened with Hiranyakashipu or Ravana. We get whatever we really want. And this process of performing devotional service actually purifies us to an extent that when the actual time comes for fulfillment of our desire, we don't even have the desire in our heart. Like that's what happens to Dhruva Maharaj when he gets the direct darshan of Lord Vishnu. He has no desire. But then Lord Vishnu says, no, because now you have desired, I will fulfill your desire. But he did not get entangled. Even though his desire was fulfilled, he did not get entangled. And sometimes the devotees have lot of desires and they do not finish their journey in this life. So what Krishna does, Krishna calls them unsuccessful yogis, and then he arranges them to get birth in the higher planetary systems, enjoy as much as you want to, and then when they come back, they either get birth in the pious Vaishnava family or they get birth in the aristocratic family. Those are the unsuccessful yogis. And Krishna classifies them into somebody who has done short-term service or the long-term service. That's how they get the next birth. Now, in Prabhupada's case, we can see that having material opulence is not a bad thing. When he had nothing, he was still using everything whatever he had in the service of the Lord. When he had everything, he had so much of wealth, he used all that in the service of Lord. So he opened 108 temples, so many centers, so many other movements, and like Food for Life, so many things he started. So we can see that having material wealth is not a bad thing. Actually, we need so much of material wealth. I mean, we need, Lakshmi, to rebuild this temple. We are trying to, do so much of services so that we can get donations for carrying out this project. So we need material wealth. And Amrish Prabhu, he's giving so much of wealth for TOVP project. So we can see from the life of devotees that if they have material wealth and if they are using in the service of the Lord, that's very good actually. Now next thing is liberation, so moksha. So performing devotional service, it automatically comes. There is no separate endeavor for that. So because we are performing devotional service, we are not under the influence of illusory energy. We are under the shelter of Krishna. Once we are under the shelter of Krishna, there is no influence of illusory energy. We are automatically liberated. And this is confirmed in the words of Bilva Mangala Thakur. Mukti Swayam Mukti Mukulitanjali Sayavat Smat. Mukti herself is standing with folded hands waiting to serve the devotee. Bilva Mangala Thakur is saying that Mukti is standing with folded hands. Okay, I am here, you take me. But he's saying, okay, no, I am busy doing service, my service to the Lord. So devotee doesn't want liberation. He wants service of the Lord life after life. So mukti is not a separate endeavor. Moksha for the devotee, it automatically comes once you are out of the influence of illusory energy, you are automatically on a liberated platform. So we can compare that, performing devotional service to the Lord and performing devotional service to the demigods. So Lord offers ecstatic bliss in the heart by performing devotional service. And that is the greatest thing that Krishna offers. After receiving this, no material desire would further affect them. So they are purified, they are cleansed of any unnecessary material desires. Now, a very beautiful pastime is described in Canto 9 of the Ramayana, that after receiving charity, so what Lord Ramchandra is doing, he is giving everything away in charity to the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. And only thing is Mother Sita has a sari and she has her ornaments. Except that he gives away everything. So when Brahmanas receive this charity, something very beautiful they said, that, O Lord, you have entered into our heart and illuminated our heart and completely dispelled the ignorance. This is the greatest gift you have given to us. Now whatever wealth we have received from you, we are unable to enjoy this wealth, as we are now free from the material desires. So they are saying that you have given us so much of bliss in our heart that we do not have desire to enjoy this wealth. So please take it back. So they give everything back to the Lord. Now what is this happening? Lord is giving, devotees are giving back. But Lord accepts that as the property of those Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. And he takes the responsibility and rules, saying that this is their property and I am their servant. And in that mood he serves. Although everything belongs to him, he is supreme, but he is playing the pastime of Maryada Purushottam. So he performs that activity in that mood. Then also there is example of Sudama. So Sudama goes to Krishna and Krishna doesn't give him anything at that time. And when Sudama is returning back home, he is thinking, maybe Krishna is saving me from Maya. He doesn't want to give me anything, otherwise I'll deviate from my path. But then when he reaches back home, he sees, wow, there is so much of material wealth now. But he is not deviated from his path. He performs his devotional service even better after that. So devotee, even after getting material fulfillment of material desire, it's not that he's deviated. Actually, to enjoy that material opulence, that desire is gone from the heart of a devotee, because his heart is full of bliss and love for Krishna. Now, the these four material desires, the uh, dharma, kama, moksha, and artha, they are four fruits of a tree, of a banyan tree, which is described in Bhagavad Gita chapter 15. And Sri Bhagavan Uvach, Urdhava Moolam Adha Shakham Ashwatham Prahur Avyayam Chandansi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Sa Vedavid. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upwards and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. So those fruits, four fruits, are the fruits of this tree. So the roots, the real roots grow towards the Brahmaloka, and the secondary roots grow downwards towards the Bhuloka, which are attachments and aversions and bound by fruitive actions by human society. The branches are the upper and lower planetary systems. The leaves are Vedic hymns. Twigs are sense objects, and tips of the branches are senses. And the fruits are dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. And what Krishna is saying? He's saying, cut this tree with the weapon of detachment. Na rupam asyeha tathopalabhyate nanto na chardin cha sampratishta ashwatha menam suvirudha moolam sanga shastrena dradena chitva. So sanga shastrena, asanga shastrena. So with the weapon of detachment and with full determination, cut down this tree. And to do that, actually find one who is in knowledge, a spiritual master. Surrender to the Lord, and then you will attain the eternal abode. So here Krishna is saying that you cut down that tree. So with the tree, all the fruits, those four fruits will also go. Now in Kali Yuga, we think that our lives are very short, like, we only have 60, 70 years, maximum 80. Current scenario, like they say 100, but we can see like 70, 80. So there's very short time. Like people like me, I came to Krishna consciousness pretty late, like after my graduation in late 20s. So for me, I'm thinking, oh, it's not much time. I'm struggling. When I'm going to become a devotee, I'm a sadhaka, I'm trying to just practice, but I'm far away from becoming a devotee. So I don't have much time. I may not be able to achieve perfection. But here we can see from Dhruva Maharaj's life, how long it took him to achieve perfection. So he was like, how did he start his devotional service? Like first week, he was eating only some berries and fruits every third day. That was the first month. Second month, every sixth day, he was eating a little bit of grass. Third month, he was taking some water every ninth day. Fourth month, he was accepting. He was only inhaling air in the fourth month every 12th day. And then the fifth month, he stood on one, like he was standing on one leg and completely controlled his breath, which started controlling the breath of the whole universe. So everybody was suffocating, and the demigods, then they go to Lord Vishnu and pray, what is this happening? Please save us. So we can see how long it took him. Only a few months. And why did that? Narad Muni told him that performing Ashtanga Yoga, achieving perfection, may take many lifetimes. A lot of yogis have failed to achieve that, even after many, many lifetimes. So he achieved the perfection in a very short period of time. So there is so much of time for us. We have full conviction and we follow the instructions of our spiritual master, follow the teachings of Srila Prabhupada and the previous acharyas. There's a lot of time. Compared few months, we have so many years. So we can achieve perfection in this life. There is a guarantee that Krishna will give us chance to start from the same position. He says, Neha Bhikama Nasho Asti Pratyavayo Na Vidyate Swalpam Apyasya Dharmasya Trayato Mahto Bhayat. But why to take a chance? Prabhupada says, why do you want to take a chance? Just finish the business in this life. Go back. You have all the facilities. Just perform your service very nicely. And I promise you, I will come back to take you myself at the end of your life. So he's promising that as well. Who else would do that? So with that, yeah, we'll stop here. And any suggestions, any corrections, or any additions, please? I'm a bit confused about the month or the weeks of Dhruv Maharaj, whether he achieved that in a few weeks or was it a few months? Few months, was it? Yeah. Yeah. Any questions? No questions? Oh, Prabhu, yes, yeah. Yeah. Yes, please, Prabhu, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yes, Prabhuji. I mean, there are a lot of pastimes, like I hear, like, some devotee when they were on the, like, about to leave the body, and they are telling that, no, Prabhupada is telling the truth. Trust Prabhupada's words, he is telling the truth. So we can hear from the devotees' experiences and pastimes that, yes, this is all true. Yep. Thank you, Prabhu. Any other, Prabhu? Letting me off the hook very easily. Very kind. Yes, Mataji. Yeah. Mataji, welcome to the club. We all are struggling sadhakas, so we are trying to perform our devotional service. Although Prabhupada is saying that he's not saying you have to be perfect in chanting. You only chant 16 rounds and I'll take you back. So I'm only concentrating on to that. Okay, chant 16 rounds. I may not be able to achieve that quality, but he's saying you just chant 16 rounds, I will still take you back. So he gives us concession. So he says, Krishna says, okay, yeah, okay, he's Prabhupada's boy, we'll take him, no problems. I mean, I'm just saying, we should all try to achieve perfection and improve our chanting. There are so many seminars happening that we can take advice from senior Vaishnavas and devotees here. They chant so nicely after the Mangla, and coming here and chanting is at a different level. Actually, when I'm chanting at home with in the devotee sangha, it really helps when such nice devotees are sitting next to you and chanting. You automatically, they lift you up. So Vaishnava sangha association is so important. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, sure. A nice question, Prabhuji. I mean, we can say that these are all impurities which we have in our heart. So the bhakti is actually process of purifying. So we are not perfect on day one. In fact, when we get our initiation, it's initiation. So we've just started our journey. So there's a long way to go. It's a purificatory process. So when we follow the principles, it automatically happens. The purity automatically comes. So we don't have to separately do any endeavor. So we just follow the four regulative principles, chant our rounds, perform our services which have been given to us very nicely, and slowly those impurities will automatically go away from our heart by following the process. So we are not all like we are. So I'm sick and that's why I'm taking a medicine. So the effect of the medicine takes some time. So I have to take it for certain period of time as per the prescription. And once I've taken that medicine for that certain amount of time, automatically the results will be there. So I will be cured of all my material impurities. So just following the process is the most important thing. Yeah, thank you. Yes. Yeah, so that is, you're talking about different stages of bhakti. So Shraddha is like a preliminary faith, then comes the sadhu sangha, then bhajan kriya, then anartha nivritti, then you go to nishtha. So when nishtha stage comes, then you have your faith is very firm at that stage. So nothing can then deviate you. There would not be even 0.1% doubt in your mind that this is the correct process, Krishna is the supreme. But the initial stages, and we all are on those stages, like, so Shraddha, at the stage of Shraddha, it happens that we are in and out, and the faith is not very firm at that point. So that is the reason what happens. So you just have to follow the process, automatically progression will happen. Um, Bharat Maharaj, he achieved the state of bhava, and there is always, a chance of coming down even from that stage. So Shraddha is very preliminary stage. I mean, we are at different stages. We find ourselves in different stages at different points of time. But to have any doubts is like, having a not so firm faith. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? No. Okay. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ भगवान की जय.